Watch.
Hangi filmdesin lan? Girmiyor bile. Salak. Girmedi değil mi? Girmiyor mudur lan?
Yeah, come on, yeah!
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? You know, we often go back and forth. You'll hear me mock this all the time. You hear people say, oh, what we're seeing is a movie. Everything is scripted. Well, there's a lot more truth in that than you would probably know. I just don't agree with the script that people are pushing out there. But to me, it's more of a magic show. And I mean a bad magic show like we just saw. You see, they want us to focus the trick on the left hand over here. And the light's flashing on it. And there's a lot of attention on the left hand. That you're not paying attention to what's going on the right hand. By the way, this is a 1 kilo silver coin of Putin. Yep, I think there's only 10 of them in existence. Gold, silver making their moves as cryptocurrency fell miserably so far, and I say so far, in a war crisis. You often wonder how your assets going to perform when there's a crisis going on. Well, if the first day is any indication, the king of the mountain is gold and silver. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you are not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Right now, it's the time to buy gold and silver before it gets up there so high that it seems like you can't afford it. When you go to buy your precious metals like gold and silver, consider our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and it will give you a free ½ ounce of silver. So in case you haven't heard, Russia was supposed to have invaded Ukraine. But how much of this is the truth and how much of it isn't? You see, I'm not saying that they didn't invade Ukraine, but how much of it was organized. Understand that there is an agenda being pushed right now. It's called the Great Reset. Could all this have something to do with that? And what's about to happen around the world? The RONA was the first wave. All this other stuff is just to add to this agenda. Well, I'll show you some things and you decide from there. First things first, let's do cryptocurrencies. It was terrible last night for cryptocurrencies. As soon as all this doo-doo hit the fan, people bailed out of cryptocurrencies and immediately went over to a time tradition, a true safe haven, which was gold and silver. We're starting to see Bitcoin rebound just a little. They're at 38,450. Ethereum's at 2,636. New World Order coin XRP 70 cents. Cardano at 86 cents. Solana at $89. Dogecoin down to 13 cents. Polkadot's at $16. Shiba barely moved at all. It's at 4024. It was at 4025. Shiba's starting to be consistently what a stable coin would look like. It really is. Polygon's at $1.44. Crypto.com's at 39 cents. If you look at the 52-week average, the little blue dots, the vast majority of them are over to the left, which is not what you want. Satama 7016. It's doing better over the last hour. As you can see, the drop-offs. Every time it starts to really get up there around 1.8, 7018, or just a little above that, something happens to drive the price down. It's crazy to watch. The SATA mask is up. There's no more issues. So as I was saying before, people are all hyped up about cryptocurrencies, and I was like, that's fine and dandy, but we'll see how it does in the financial crisis. Well, I started to lose some value. And I said, it hasn't even dealt with any other crisis, wartime crisis, Well, we know now that during the financial crisis or any geopolitical crisis, cryptocurrencies obviously, so far, I say so far, because if I'm going to be honest, I'm expecting a rebound. Oh, yeah. But initially, the first day, it looked terrible. Not a very good showing for cryptocurrency. When the cryptocurrency is supposed to be your be all, save all. You can go anywhere, travel anywhere, you pull it out, use it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but what if cryptocurrencies were developed as the easier and quicker way to fund wars, uprisings, terrorist attacks? I did a video yesterday showing you that Soros is using cryptocurrencies to fund an uprising that he's calling a pro-democracy movement in Myanmar. I'm going to show you some information here and you tell me what you think. Oh yeah, you knew they were going to smash this sucker down. Silver was taking off so fast, it literally was giving people whiplash trying to keep up with the view. This was yesterday, around the time they announced it. Silver around 24.11. It got up there at around 25.60. That's more than $1 jump. Since then, it's dropped all the way down to 24.20. Why? You can see down here, they dumped a bunch of silver on the market. As soon as it got this high, all this is the metals that are dumped on the market, which is just BS. This is more silver by ounces than they produce almost an entire year. This is when we say that the metals markets are manipulated. They use paper markets to cool things down. And that's what they did. They dumped a crap load of paper on the market to tamper it down because gold and silver were taken off like you wouldn't believe. Silver jumped up above $1, man. It was awesome. But precious metals doing what they're supposed to do during a time of financial crisis, during a time of a geopolitical crisis, they move up, only to get to smack down by the powers that be. But precious metals will prevail. They always do. Let's get over here to gold. Oh, you should have seen gold yesterday. So yesterday when gold was around $1,891, as time went on, oops, what's going on overseas? Geopolitical crisis. And papoopy, there it is. Look at this. Jumped up there to $1,973.74. Only to be smacked back down to under $1,900 again. It's rebounding. But the point being, look at all the paper they dumped. So what is this paper dumping? Is that real? No. People are getting out of paper assets and getting into the physical. We're already in a shortage when it comes to gold and silver right now. The last thing they need is this to happen. They can try to manipulate this all they want, but eventually they're either going to have to start dumping their own supplies in order to keep price down, or they're going to have to let precious metals go up. And they're going to go up. So silver and gold looking phenomenal when they're supposed to, because they're the true safe haven. Now, I played this video yesterday for a reason. Now I'm going to play it again because I want you to listen to our buddy Klaus here from the World Economic Forum tell you exactly who the agents of World Economic Forum are. They're all part of this great reset. You're going to hear some disrupting, like somebody smacking a mic. It's pretty loud spike, so be prepared for it. Just understand it's not me. It's not the guy that's presenting the video. You'll still be able to hear what they have to say. Pay attention because it's important.
When I mention now names like this Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau,
Canada,
and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more, half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the world economy.
Wow!
And that's true in Argentina too. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. Mm-hmm. I'm here with the president, who is a young global leader. But what is important for me?
They're all agents of the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. And so
you heard it. They're all agents of the World Economic Forum. He started off with Merkel and Putin. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the World Economic Forum, I'll introduce you to them here in just a moment. This is important to understand. If these people are all agents of the World Economic Forum, that would mean every action that they take with and against one another is coordinated. And this is why I tell everybody you should be buying gold and silver. You need to be out of the banking system. We've seen what happened with the protesters that gave Trudeau unlimited power. He just did it on his own and nobody stopped him. Then, when people's bank accounts started getting seized by the government and people couldn't pull out their money, what do you think happened? Everybody ran to the bank to pull their money out of the bank. That's a bank run. All of a sudden, the banks would limit the amount of money they could take out. Anything over a certain dollar amount, you had to write down and explain in writing why it is you're taking your money out. I tell them people to go kiss my butt. It's my money. I'll do whatever the hell I want with it. I've been saying in my videos for the longest time, get ready. We're going to have a bail-in. It's going to start with a bank run. Again, gold and silver is necessary. And for those of you, I hope and pray, if you had 401ks and IRAs that you were like, you know what, Pimpy's suggestion was a good one. I'm going to go ahead and move 25-30% of my nest egg into precious metals right before the market took a dump. We saw what happened to Dow Jones. As soon as the announcement happened in the crisis, take a look at this. The Dow Jones didn't just come down slowly. That sucker fainted and passed out. It dropped straight down. Was at 33,131. Came down to about 32,382. And then kept going down and has been trying to recover ever since. But don't let this fool you. It was already going down. Ever since February the 9th, when it was at 35,787, you can clearly see the Dow has slowly but surely working its way down as people get out of risky assets and prepare for a financial crisis. So the markets have slowly and steadily been going down, stock market I'm talking about, as gold sitting around here at 1,828. As the Dow Jones was going down, watch gold at the same time. February the 9th, and here we go. This is a paper dump. Look at right here. See this? See how the price goes down after they dump the paper on the market? Because it makes it look like people are dumping gold and silver. It's paper gold and silver, not real. They're not going to be able to keep doing this. You're already seeing it rebound quickly. If we look at the charts for the Dow Jones on February the 9th, you can see that's when the Dow Jones has gradually been going down. We can see that gold has gradually been going up. What about silver? You hear me mention this all the time. Silver is like a hyperactive kid on sugar. Here it is on February the 9th. Watch its price. We're somewhere around, what's this? 23.13. Here it is at its highest peak, around 25.61. It says February the 9th before this crash this morning. You can see the same thing. Look right here. See this green spike? Paper being dumped on the market, driving the price down. Nobody should be surprised. The point is that on February the 9th of this year, the stock market started slowly but surely working its way down as gold and silver started working its way up. So we know that the Russia-Ukraine crisis varnishes gold safe haven shine as Bitcoin lags. I do think cryptos are going to rebound. I do. Because cryptos are going to be used not as a safe haven, but people are going to be using it to fund these conflicts. Yes. So when I told you one of the things I was worried about was cryptocurrencies being controlled by governments, well, here's another example. Russia to restrict crypto trading to licensed platforms and certified wallets. Period. That's the government controlling. So now they want to push us into the central bank digital currency. Keep that in mind when you read this. Ukraine central bank suspends use of electronic money following Russia invasion. Well, what happens if you need your CBDC? Think about that. suspends use of electronic money following. Well, what kind of things is that? What's electronic money? It is unclear whether this extends to crypto or other digital currencies. Last year, the central bank was granted permission to issue a central bank digital currency. Well, we're going to find out if they were able to use it. This is their push to push us into the central bank digital currency, or a test run anyways. So get ready to see gas prices get up around $8 a gallon. That is the conservative projection for gas because of this crisis. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second. I showed you this yesterday as well. China's gas prices surged to record as world grapples with shortage. But for those people, whenever you hear Trump's name, you get all cringy and really get past that. If you guys remember, Trump had opened up the pipelines. We went from depending on other countries to provide us with oil and gas to supplying the world with it. We were the #1 exporter. Biden got in office, and now we are dependent on people supplying us with oil and gas. And guess who one of those people are? Russia. China and Russia ditched dollar in a move towards financial alliance. So this little invasion was planned already, because this is from August of 2020. This is when Russia and China decided to start doing trade, and they were going to use rupees instead of the US dollar. When I keep saying the end of the dollar's coming, I always get people going, that's not going to happen, man. The world depends too much on the US dollar. Yeah, it's slowly weaning itself from the dollar. So China and Russia, they ditched the dollar. It said in the first quarter of 2020, the dollar shares of trade between Russia and China fell below 50% for the first time on record. The US dollars were used only 46% of the time to settle between the two countries. The euro hit an all-time high at 30%. Russia and China have drastically cut their use of the dollar in bilateral trades over the past several years. As of late 2015, approximately 90% of the bilateral transactions were conducted in dollars. Following the outbreak of the US-China trade war and concert push by both Moscow and Beijing to move away from the dollar, however, the figure has dropped below 51% by 2019. Why do you suppose that is? Because if they do like Russia just did to the Ukraine, then for punishment, they suspend them or take them out of the SWIFT system. But now the United States can't do that. No way. We rely on Russia for a lot of oil and gas. Not only that, but any time when Russia wants to, guess what they can do? Shut down the power grid. Yep. Biden came in and closed down the pipelines. We became energy dependent instead of the world's #1 exporter of energy. Why? Just so they can own shares in those companies and make a ton of money off our needs that they created. Usually the UK is our partner. We team up together, kick somebody out of the SWIFT system, put all kinds of embargoes, all kinds of restrictions on the country. But there's a big problem. Just like we rely on Russia, so does the UK. How vulnerable is the UK energy system as tensions rise? They've already invaded. What's the UK going to do? Seriously, what can they do? I think Russia controls 60% of their energy. 60%. If you kick them out of the SWIFT, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, Russia will just cut them off. They can't afford to do that. So they can't even be our ally in this. It's going to look like it, and they're going to talk a good talk, and they're going to paint pretty pictures, and they're going to make threats. But let's see how long this lasts. You see, China and Russia have been planning this for a long time. At least Russia has. This is why they agreed to trade differently. Even if you kick Russia out of the SWIFT system, they are partnered up with other countries to help with their financial needs. So Putin and the UK. How nice of Merkel. How a German state helped Moscow push a pipeline. Well, you remember what Klaus Schwab said. We have nice young globalists like the Putin and the Merkel. These people come in front of us and they go, those bad, evil leaders, when they're actually teammates. So here you have Merkel, a globalist, working with Putin to push a pipeline that went ahead and weakened the Ukraine. Sprout money. Look at this. Russia-Ukraine crisis and a de-dollarization has begun. February 22nd, 2022. A global trend towards de-dollarization has been ongoing for over a decade, and it stands to get a massive push forward if the Ukraine crisis boils over into a hot war, and consequently the United States attempts, you notice how I said attempts, to remove or exclude Russia from the SWIFT system of international financial settlements. So you see, our politicians have put us in a very vulnerable position thanks to their greedy needs. I keep trying to warn everybody, this is a new world order. They even say so on our dang website. So the de-dollarization, which means what? A weaker US dollar. Gold and silver, if you don't have it, your money is losing value if it's just sitting in a bank account. Every day you're paying the bank to store your money. The funny thing is, it's not even physical money, it's just digital money. They're charging you to use electricity. Basically is what it comes down to. Gold and silver. You still have a chance to do something about it before it gets way out of hand. Run over to Money Metals. You could call them at 800-800-1865. Ask them what you need to do to transfer your retirement, some of it or all of it. I suggested 25 to 30% of it, just to be on the safe side. Tell them Pimpy sent you. So already the world, and every time I say this, there's one guy in there, one name by name, constantly says, you're wrong. They're never going to get rid of the dollar. They've been weaning themselves off it now for quite some time. Even this article says that. It is a global trend. People got tired of the United States using the SWIFT system to control countries into doing what they want them to do. But to keep a tighter control on this, they're trying to force everybody into the central bank digital currency. So if any country gets out of hand, they can easily program your central bank digital currency and starve all your citizens or cut you guys off from any use of money, and they would punish the entire country instead of just the leaders. Keep that in mind when they try to force us into the central bank digital currency. Yeah. You see, those globalist agents of the World Economic Forum extend over to us. I told everybody this slogan that Biden was using comes from the Great Reset. So when you see them out there posturing with Putin and everything else, just know it's to blow smoke up your butt. The war is a great distraction, though, from the piss poor job they're doing as leaders of our country. So like I said, this is part of the World Economic Forum. This is the World Economic Forum. Let's go through this real quick, starting with the second paragraph. Governments and others will spend trillions of dollars responding to the effects of the coronavirus, rebuilding the old-fashioned way by investing in fossil fuel-driven growth that threatens human health and exacerbates inequality. Is a dangerous proposition. Future prosperity demands that countries build back better. To build back better, see the choice of words? So when you hear people like Boris Johnson and Biden use these terms, understand, just like Merkel and Putin, Trudeau, Macron, all of these people work and report to the same group of people. The World Economic Forum, George Soros, as well as Klaus Schwab. I do this from time to time to remind you exactly what this goal is. Absolute world control with a one world currency known as the central bank digital currency. One that they can program. One that has an expiration date on it that if you don't spend it by then, you lose it. So how can you ever retire? How can you ever save? How can you ever start a small business? How can you ever accumulate wealth? You won't. You'll be in a perpetual state of enslavement. And in closing, let's listen to Turtle Man.
All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash. And there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
You heard them. They will be in control of the policies and procedures on how we spend our money, and they will have the technology to enforce that. The BIS is one of the main pushers behind the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself, protecting your family. If you have any types of savings, any type of retirement, anything that's relying on the banks and the paper stock market, start protecting yourself. You need to have gold and silver in your possession. Now, there are other places out there where you can buy your gold and silver, and everybody's got their own favorite. But the people with the best customer service, the company is voted now 2 years in a row Investopedia's best overall bullion dealer with the most competitive price is Money Metals. The link is down below in the description. Again, first-time buyers, you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy. I encourage you to head on over there now before it gets too out of control. Anyways, that's it for now. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.